And we're live.
Yes. Jeremy, your hat is normal tonight?
No, well, I mean, Gravity Falls.
Yeah. Oh, I still haven't watched that.
Oh,
I really want to. It's on my
Said
list.
the same thing. I feel like we
oh my
need to.
goodness.
Okay, when we have Touch Grass Festival 2025, one of the nights I'm gonna set up my projector and we're just gonna get in our PJs and watch Gravity Falls.
Yes. Can we do that outside somewhere?
Yeah,
So we're still touching grass.
Yeah, we'll do.
It'll have to be in the summer.
Make our own little drive-in at the campground or whatever.
Yes, DIY drive-in. I like this.
I just bought actually touchgrass.com too, so we now own it.
That's exciting.
Yeah, we'll be. I'm hoping we can make some quick website where we can all put our picture. We were talking about this by putting our picture. What you get one picture of yourself touching grass, and then you can list your analog hobbies. You can't put like your social media links. It's just like I find me flying kites or whatever it is.
Breeding carrier pigeons.
Right. And you get to claim your little slice of grass, I think. So you can have like at whatever, and then talk about what grass you'll be touching. Hi, Alex.
This darn audio. I'm trying to get the audio to turn off on my phone, and it's not doing it. Nothing's happening.
It's
I'm going to put myself on. Yeah.
Yeah, Jeremy has another phone set up because we're maybe going to do some hydromancy. Is that what it's called? Hydromancy?
Oh, yeah.
Which is this thing I saw on, maybe you all heard about this before. I'd never seen it before, but someone was showing how they like take water and spin it up with a light on it and then take pictures of it. And you see images in it. And it looks really cool. And so Jeremy set it up so that he can do it live on here, and we can all like take screenshots and look for weird images in it.
Yeah, didn't one of y'all say that it's like a form of the ITC communication, or that's what it's considered, or maybe that was the TikTok that said that?
Oh, really? No, I don't remember that. What is what is that?
Oh, I'm gonna butcher the analogy here, or like words are very hard this evening. ITC communication. It's like a technical sort of communication through technology. I'm very great with words. Where you use like radios and TVs and different static apparatuses to have voices come through to help manipulate the electromagnetic waves for communication with the dead. I would consider Ghost Box or Spirit Box would be
one of those.
Yeah.
I've never heard that before. ITC.
Okay, so maybe I used too many words. All forms of spirit communication using any kind of electrical instruments, including EVPs.
Right. It says, this is the AI overview, but it says, term used to describe communication between spirits and the living through electronic devices such as computers, televisions, tape recorders, and fax machines.
Fax machines? Oh, man.
Spiritual fax machines, for sure.
I feel like that's a certain vibe. Like, you're gonna communicate with very specific... Speak and spells!
Or a speak and spell.
Yeah.
Maybe we can... I got one of these back ages ago for WUFO experiments and even got batteries. It totally works.
Yeah, I have. Jeremy got one too. we were gonna. Can we talk about that secret project we were gonna do? We never did. We were gonna try to replicate the ET communicator. Actually, build all take all the parts and see if we could get it to work.
I feel like it kind of evolved into the plant.
Yeah, I think that
the
was
Florophone.
that ended up being kind of the easier route. But there was these people, like the Florophone is actually inspired because I saw this. I met these ghost hunters who had built this thing using the speak and spell chip, and then they had it in a box, and like it would influence the speak and spell chip through fluctuations in EMF. So they were hoping that ghosts would like change the EMF and then be able to like manipulate it and like learn to talk. And the speak and spell chip was basically like their voice box. But like if you held it up to a light or something, it would like go crazy. It would say all this weird stuff. And I was like, oh, and that's what kind of made me think of doing the plant talker.
That is amazing.
Yeah, I think, but it would be cool to try. But I was kind of wondering if we could do something like that with the ET thing, like kind of have the visual setup of it, but do something similar to like what the plant talker is doing.
I feel like
it looks like Alex is doing something here.
switches are readings.
I want to know. Yeah, Alex there is the only other person to have one of those. He built one of the plant talkers too. So
I remember. Oh, Bex was saying that she really wanted one. She was like,
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
"Happy post holidays, y'all."
Yeah.
This is really not working. It's if anybody has any. This is the strangest thing. Like, look. So, look. I try to turn down the volume,
Mhm.
and it just goes back up. I don't know what the heck.
Paranormal activity.
Well, it's this because I'm using the StreamYard app, I think, and it's forcing the volume. And I don't know how to stop it from doing that. So I'm going to look into this for just a second longer.
Okay.
It just wants to be heard. Let it speak.
I mean, one option is to just do audio through your phone. None of us will know the difference.
We can't hear him. Yeah, so you were saying happy post holidays. Did anyone do anything fun over the holidays that you want to share?
Emily.
I mean,
You
other
know,
than
we-
other than Cornhenge,
Yeah.
I
You
guess
can
maybe.
talk about Cornhenge. Yeah. you should-
Yeah. Cornhenge was fun. Erica and I went out to Cornhenge like literally the day I got home. Like we landed and then I like took a nap and then I woke up in time to go to Cornhenge that night. And it was pretty interesting. It's funny because I grew up literally like right next to Cornhenge, like that. I used to play there when I was little, and we had no idea that there are those orange trees there. So we get out there, and we really were not expecting to find much of anything. We were just hanging out, and we also had found out that it was just Cornhenge's 30th birthday, so that's something.
Wow.
So we go out there, and we had Choco with us, so we were looking for a trash can so that we could take care of Choco's business. And I just like noticed that there were trash cans like off to the side of the park. And because we went towards the trash cans where I had never been, like didn't even know they were there, I realized there were like also benches over there and a whole bunch of see, I'm also bad with words tonight. Not tiles, but like plaques. There were like 6 or 7. I think we're 6 total plaques out to the side of the field where Cornhenge is. And the first one I walked up to was talking about how the trees are all these like orange trees. What kind of orange?
Osage orange. Osage orange?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there were Osage oranges like all over this field. So the orange connection was pretty much immediate. I had like no idea that those were out there or that that's what those were. And
Aren't they
then
like some kind of orange too? That's like no one eats it because they were eaten by like giant sloths.
Yeah, they were just eaten by giant sloths. Oh, can you hear that feedback?
Yeah.
It's okay. Yeah, and I know
it's much more exciting now. Yes.
you sent
What were you saying?
pictures to us, and we could not figure out if Choco was a dog, if that was an actual dog in the picture. You're like, here's some pictures I took. I'm going to bed. And Jeremy and Garrett and I were like, what is that? Like, what is that?
Yeah, it was Choco wearing a giant fur coat.
Not
like literally
Choco,
wearing like
the talking mongoose.
Yeah.
It was so good. It was its own like mini mystery within.
I thought it was Jeff the mongoose.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he did look like that. I will admit. It's funny because when I woke up, I was like, "Why are there so many text messages?" Because I created a whole controversy by accident. Yeah, no, it was. And then, I mean, of course, I lit a candle and we sang "Happy Birthday" to Cornhenge, and we didn't get a drone. But as soon as we sang "Happy Birthday" to Cornhenge, a helicopter appeared. So that was something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's
I have the video. We can put it.
Yeah.
We want to play it real quick.
Yeah,
go
let's
for
do
it.
it.
Okay. Let's see.
I don't think you will. I'll put you out. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Should we sing happy birthday to the corn because it was just their 30th birthday?
Oh yeah, sorry we're late to your birthday, Corn.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to the corn. Happy birthday, dear corn. Happy birthday to you. Woo.
Happy birthday, Corn.
So no drones, technically, but oranges.
That is interesting.
Helicopter. From somewhere. Oh, there it is.
I heard that somebody was lighting fires.
They did. They came right away. It is funny that we sang them happy birthday and then a helicopter appeared. Does that count? Does that count as a drone? Probably not. It's flying.
Well, it didn't have to be a drone, right?
It's true. Hi, friend. I don't know that helicopter is friendly. I just assumed.
Might be. No, we can't see details. We don't know whose helicopter it is.
That's true.
I totally think that counts.
I think so. It felt like it
that
did.
was immediate.
Yeah, and we hadn't seen another helicopter yet, so which is funny because we are relatively close to a hospital over there. So I think helicopters fly over not infrequently, but like we hadn't seen anything else the entire time that we were there until we sang "Happy Birthday." We do need to be more specific.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
There was another thing too, where like the pictures you sent mirrored something that you drew, Sierra, right? Like you kind of like, didn't you do something you?
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm chewing tapioca pearls. Yeah, to like manifest a drone and Cornhenge, I kind of just DIY'd it, and I used one of the spirit boxes Kevin had just gotten me as like an early Christmas gift, and I tried to use the altered state to manifest it and imagine it, but it was almost like I just saw it as it was already there, which was interesting. And I drew a very primitive picture of what I saw and what I thought it was. And I noticed when Emily sent some of the pictures of Cornhenge when she got there, it was very, very similar. There was like the tree and the perspective of the corn and the road. The only thing that was wrong is there wasn't water and there wasn't a tree line in the area I thought there would be. It was instead lights. And the area where a drone was in the mental image I got was very close to where one of the street street lamps was. And seeing the video, I don't know if you sent that to the group text or not. I might have missed it. I didn't see it before until just now. Like the helicopter did kind of come over the area where I thought I saw the drone in this image, and there were trees just beyond the building that I didn't see in the original picture. So that part is interesting to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Those pictures that I took also were like literally just the first pictures that I took before we actually stepped into Cornhenge. I like let Choco run into the field and I just took a couple of pictures while we were standing there. So it is interesting that it matched so well.
Yeah, I reached out several days later, or maybe a couple of weeks later, just to be sure, because I wasn't sure if it was like subconscious influence of you taking that picture, or you were trying to show me that that was there. You're like, nope, it was just the first thing off the top of my head. Didn't even think about it.
It was all instinct.
So, and you're 100% sure that Choco is not some sort of ghost in the shape of a
I
dog.
mean, he might be. I mean, it is our running theory that he is in charge of the simulation. So,
oh, that makes sense. Yes.
Yeah. He's asleep right next to me, but he'll be upset if I pick him up to say hi.
We don't need to do that.
Yeah.
There's a saying that applies here, an old saying, something about dogs.
No.
Yeah.
I got a dog tarot deck.
Oh, I have one too, but I've misplaced mine. I need to re-find it.
Oh, is it the same one? Do you know?
It might be. It's by the same woman that did the Crow tarot deck.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
I have. MJ, maybe. I have no idea. I cannot remember her name.
Cute.
Oh no, but I do have the cat version of that.
Oh, this one is so good. It's very good. It's a very good tarot deck.
I feel like it would be a wholesome one to read with.
Definitely. Well, and because if you know dogs and you know like animal behavior, like dog behavior and stuff, you're like, oh yeah, exactly. That's exactly what that means.
Will you do a reading real quick, or you pull a card for us?
Yeah, sure. Well, I didn't want to derail that. We were talking about Choco, and that made me think of dogs. Oh. I don't want to derail anything if there's more to talk about with Cornhenge. So, but I'd say experiment success.
We
Yeah.
can try it again next time I go back to Ohio. See what happens.
We would get, if we were in Liminal Scouts, we get a badge. I think
it's true.
Yes, yes, that's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
All right, I will pull a card.
Maybe we can. So, some of you may recall there were Liminal Earth punch cards.
Yeah,
back in the day.
Ton of those. Yeah, I have a ton of those.
I was just looking. I have some that I printed out, but I feel like there's like a Liminal Scouts equivalent of or iteration of the punch card, perhaps.
Yeah.
What would we punch for?
Oh, like participate. Like anytime you do Liminal Earth homework, you get like whatever, and once you get X number, then you've completed that badge or whatever equivalent.
Yeah, with Scouts you earn your badges, and my idea right now, because it's hard to manufacture badges without great expense, would be pins, because pins are actually relatively easy to make.
Yeah.
Well, we could even do buttons.
Oh yeah.
Design some buttons with the button maker and put actual like objects inside, like little plants and stuff inside them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have one. Let me show you. Hold on, I'll grab one.
You unlocked a poor childhood memory for me. It was like besides getting the badges for our sashes or our vests or whatever, but we would also get these shoelace charms, like different colors and shapes or like things of shoelace charms. It's very early thousands thing to get, but I don't know. There's
I missed that era.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Is that a bug?
We can't hear you.
No,
What?
it's not a bug. It's some St. John's wort.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
it looked like a mosquito. I was
That
like,
would be-
Garrett. what did you
Not
do?
that. I would never do that.
It's our
Yeah, it's
own
just a little
mosquito
piece of
trapped
plant
in the
mixing.
ember.
Yeah.
I got a couple of cards.
Okay.
All right.
So I got the Ace of Wands,
Ooh. Oh.
Which- and this deck is like wands or sticks, of course.
That's so cute.
It's totally Ace of Wands energy too, like this bounding, like energetic thing coming at you, like total Ace of Wands.
I feel like you could get the Tower card in this deck, and you would just still be pleased with it.
Let's find out. I'll get the Tower and see what happens. The Wheel of Fortune is cool. It's chasing his own tail.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Let's see here. So yeah, Ace of Wands, which is like actually kind of fitting because it's like the it's like fire, like the energetic an energetic start to something, like something that's like energy that's been percolating, it's like ready to be released.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah.
And don't wands have to do with knowledge?
Wands are more like spirituality, kind of. Everybody has this as a caveat.
And
This is
maybe
my-
more like intuition.
Yes.
Intuition.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
intuition. I would say swords are more like knowledge, intellect.
Gotcha.
Air.
I always get those like confused sometimes.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I was looking for the tower, the dog tower. Let's see.
It's just the dog's favorite bone or ball.
On top of the fridge, and it can't get to it.
The sun is a corgi butt, which is pretty awesome.
Perfect.
If you know anything about
Bountiful.
that, fits perfectly.
Hi, Erica.
Oh no, this is perfect, but sad. Death
Oh.
is fireworks.
Oh,
He's
that
so
is
sad.
pretty.
Yeah. Yeah, and of course, the devil.
Oh.
That's fantastic.
That is hilarious. This deck is so good. Okay, so the tower, let's see. Oh, the tower is kind of sad. But it fits. So it's two like little dogs in thunder vests in a lightning storm. In like a gym. It looks like bleachers in a gym, which would make
It
it even
does.
louder.
Yeah. Dang.
Poor little chihuahuas. Or poochies.
That's cool.
Anyhow, this deck is great. It's just dog tarot, and who is the illustrated by Megan Lynn Kott, Kott is the illustrator. So
And
Well,
Mommy, didn't you also get a really cool tarot deck over Christmas too?
Oh yeah, I got several. One of them was a Guillermo del Toro tarot deck that I found. Where did I find that tarot deck? At Jungle Gyms. Because Jungle Gyms for some reason had an entire like tarot section, which I guess should not be surprising because it's the biggest grocery store in the world. So, but like that literally. The cool one that I found. There is a bookstore in Columbus, Ohio, that is like a 32 maybe room bookstore, where it's basically just like an extremely large house that has been converted into a bookstore. So like every room and every hallway is lined with books. There's not a space that does not have books. And their whole, like I walked in and their whole first shelf was just tarot decks, and like other assorted things of that nature. And I was like, oh my God, I'm never gonna leave. I'm never gonna get out of here. And so the first one that I got was the first deck that I saw was this one. It's Tarot of the Unexplained.
Yeah.
It's new. It's like a brand new deck. There's the
New
book
deck
for it.
dropped. Yeah.
Yeah. And John Tenney is, I think, in the deck.
What?
Yeah, hold on, wait. He was the first card that I pulled too, and I was like, "Is that Tenney?" And he's thanked in the book, like his name is in.
That
the
is
book.
amazing.
That is
Wow.
fantastic.
Let me see if I can find him. Hold on, wait.
Yeah, I looked it up, and instead of like pentacles, I think it's UFOs.
Yeah, there's portals and there's saucers. That's the
Advocate of portals.
That's hilarious.
It was literally the first card that I pulled, and I was like, "Wait a minute, is it? I don't know." Up for debate. But his name is he's thanked. The guy that did this is from Royal Oak, so
Oh.
it would like make sense that he knows Tenney. But it's a great deck. I really enjoy it. It's got like the Silver Bridge.
Yeah. Isn't that the tower card in that deck?
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah.
I like came home and I went right back to work, so I haven't like played with it too much, but it's been coming with me on all of my tours. So yeah, saucers.
That is awesome. I love
That's
that. Yeah. Mothman is not the Christmas movie I thought it would be.
Hmm.
Oh.
You watched
Something
the
about the
I finally watched it.
yeah. I think you need to read. Have you read the book?
I have not. No, I have it on audiobook just to get through it while I'm working, but I've been putting it off because I know I'm going to want to stop like 50 times and take notes each time I listen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the first truly spooky book that I ever read in my life. I read it when I was like 12.
Oh, okay.
I should reread it.
Coming of age.
I know. Yeah. That was part of my, I have to learn everything that I can about like UFOs and weird stuff so that I don't get abducted by an alien. Yeah, because I really thought that was going to be like a life problem for me. Like I genuinely was like, well, how do I avoid getting abducted by the aliens? And that was by reading every single book I could find about anything. So then, but the part about it that like really got me, that has like always gotten me in the book, was the part where he's like driving to Point Pleasant, and there's that spot in the road that he drives over where he just is suddenly like gripped by this like immense fear, and it's like only in that spot. And then he like leaves that spot and then he comes back. And that was like the first time something like clicked in my little 12-year-old brain that I was like, oh my God, that sounds like so legitimate. And like real and like something that I've experienced before. So it was like the first book that I ever really connected with. As far as like weird stuff goes. I just made Erica watch the Mothman Prophecies like last year at some point because she'd never seen it either. It's an experience.
It is kind of like the coolest characters I think in all of like paranormal lore. Indrid Cold, like the Smiling Man, the original Man in Black. I don't know if it was played by Will Smith, I think, in the movie. Wasn't that right? Or somebody like that? I can't remember Indrid Cold in the movie, but I heard it was something like that, and I was like, that's weird because maybe I was mixing it up with Men in Black. I don't know. But I was listening to AP Strange's podcast the other day, and he did like this really awesome overview. He and his guest did this awesome overview of like the Twilight Zone, and they would basically like Rod Serling is like Indrid Cold, like this and so we started trying to think of this sort of like archetype of not like the trickster, but like a narrator, like the narrator like archetype, almost like the storyteller, but a little like weirder, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I like that take on it, with them being the narrator of the story from that perspective instead of the Keel perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And I did just look up the actor too for Indrid Cold in Mothman, the 2002 version, and it is Bill Lang. I have not heard of him before.
Where I got this Will Smith thing, I don't know. That would have been fine, I'm sure. It's just weird with the Men in Black connection. So,
what about you, Garrett? How's your poetry stuff going?
Yeah,
My poetry.
I put you on the spot here. Have you applied for Poet Laureate yet?
I did apply. I haven't heard anything back. It's okay. Yeah, it's been going good. I bought myself a bunch of poetry books at Val's books in Portland. That was great. Like just rows and rows. I went to I wrote a poem about this, but I went to a place called Brighton Bush, which is like some hot springs, some like kind of very hippie naked hot springs out in the forest, and there's like no internet out there. And I did do this thing there that was kind of interesting. It was a cacao ceremony, ceremony, and like they were just like offering it there, and it was like a guided meditation, and there were these sound healers who are like playing gongs and stuff, and then we all drank like this chocolate, and then they took us on a guided meditation. And in my meditation, they're like, we've done that here before. Jeremy's led one here before. You were like, a guide is supposed to come, and I had this little squirrel show up, and it kind of led me through everything. And then one of the things I got from it is that I got this kind of weird message that we should do one of these for some reason. Not necessarily cacao ceremony, but do more of this kind of, in a different aesthetic. I think is to do something in person with all the people that we know. Anyways, and when I came out of it, it was something I thought about for WUFO, is doing one of those. But what I wanted to bring that up is when I got home, I was thinking about that squirrel a lot because I keep seeing squirrel imagery, and then I was cleaning up my front porch and I was looking for something, and out of a shoe, I found this walnut that a squirrel must have put in one of my shoes. So I got this for Christmas from a squirrel. And I think, I don't know I feel like maybe we should be doing that. Some kind of, I was thinking like an in-person thing. With different kinds of plant, and do some kind of plant herbal thing and do some guided meditation. I don't know. I think that'd be cool.
We could do like snack. Everybody bring snacks.
Right. Yeah.
Break bread.
Right. We could make our own tea blends.
Right.
Yes.
Because we were talking about like the Quaker thing, and then I was thinking there's people doing like UFO thing. I don't know what that. I can't remember. It has like some name.
E5 Stephen Greer thing. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But I was thinking like somewhere in there we could do something that's more, I don't know, like wholesome. And I just think it's interesting to do that kind of stuff and see what happens, what comes out of it. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah, we should brainstorm on that more.
Yeah.
And we have to like get all of our house cat selves to one spot though.
Right.
Like on the same day.
Right. But maybe we could do it like for some WUFO or something in person.
Yeah.
Like get together somehow.
I would do it for WUFO.
Like plan it way ahead. Yeah.
Would you venture this far north of the border?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I also am still scheming on a Paul Bunyan contact session, which will be a field trip here in Portland if anybody wants to noodle on that with me. I welcome co-conspirators.
That sounds amazing. I don't know why that American folktale stuck out to me so much as a kid, but it sounds very fun.
Yeah, we have our very own giant Paul Bunyan statue. He's my neighbor, not that far away from me. So I've been collecting ephemera and listening to podcast episodes and researching. Like, the Paul Bunyan was really, in a lot of ways, kind of co-opted by the lumber industry as a kind of marketing tool. And I think that that's an interesting thing. Like, that's actually part of what I'm trying to like wrap my head around. Like,
what was it before that it then became co-opted?
Well, it like stories of it likely came out of kind of the kinds of stories that guys would tell in logging camps, kind of around the fire to entertain each other. And over time, I think a lot of those, like, well, one time I was at this logging camp where this guy was so big he ate 50 stacks of pancakes, kind of all got wrapped up under the Paul Bunyan name. And then it's been a while. I forget where kind of Babe came into it, but if I remember correctly, there's some interesting stuff about how Babe got looped into the situation. Yeah, Alex, there's kind of a Maine and Minnesota and the Pacific Northwest all kind of have different claims to Paul Bunyan, as it were, and all kind of I think Minnesota and Maine more so maybe than the Pacific Northwest kind of fight over Paul.
Well, the redwoods, though. I mean, because in the redwood region, like, we went to Trees of Mystery, which is Garrett is very familiar with as well. And it's like it's touristy, but like, it's cool because you still see the redwood trees. I mean, it's not like it's but they have this the theme is Paul Bunyan, and they have an enormous statue of Paul Bunyan, and they have these carved wooden characters from the Paul Bunyan stories that you walk down this path and see. And so I think Northern California could claim equal fame, at least in that regard.
Yeah, that's the Paul Bunyan statue I always think of, but it's also the only one I've seen. So, but it is huge.
Yeah.
There were a couple that we drove past in, I think, North Carolina that were like muffler associated. Yeah. Like, there was a muffler chain or something like that.
Yeah, the Muffler Man. Actually, some of the Muffler Men got turned into Paul Bunyans later. They got kind of repurposed. There's a great website called Roadside America, but they have a whole thing about the Muffler Men.
Wow.
That's awesome. I don't know why this occurred to me. Maybe it's because we're talking about giant roadside statues and Garrett was talking about squirrels. But there is one of the largest squirrel statues in the world off of the side of a highway in Texas between Houston and Austin. And it is outside this tiny shop that has a 24-hour pecan pie vending machine.
That's amazing.
Next time I go home, I will try to put a picture of the giant squirrel statue for you.
Yeah.
Also, I want a piece of pecan pie for that vending machine.
You can get a whole pie from the vending machine or just slices.
How does it? It doesn't like drop down, right? It like must come out anyway.
I'm not sure. I've never tried to
imagine
get
a whole pie like splat.
See, there's another one that's for clowns where you put your head in and
Pie in the face.
clowns only.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's a reason that they stick to whipped cream pies in clown.
That's Tuesday.
Should we do a snack report before we
Yeah.
forget? It's very important.
It is important. It's the ritual. And I never have a snack at the time. But I'll tell you my favorite one right now. It's there's this Trader Joe's version of Takis, like the rolled up corn chip with like the like tahini flavoring. Like
I'm
chili.
obsessed with those.
Oh my gosh, they're so amazing.
Yeah, the sweet and spicy. Do they have that little bit of lime too?
Yeah.
Good.
They're
Good
fantastic.
balance.
You can get one of those and like just a thing of Trader Joe's hummus or something. And like you're set.
Bread.
CJ, sorry, go ahead. No, that sounds so good. CJ's snack.
That
I
does
got
sound-
More
I've got-
durian.
Durian candy. Should I try one right here?
Have you not yet?
I did one time. But I
I
haven't
really
had much.
want to like durian, but
So I've had like fresh durian, and it is way less offensive tasting than like dried processed durian, in my opinion.
Yeah, I want to try the real thing.
yeah.
I just don't, oh God. Yeah, it
The
smells
dried
like
durian to me, it's like
onions.
fruit that was like cut with like a knife that had cut garlic just before.
Yeah.
Freeze-dried fruits are underrated, honestly. Freeze-dried strawberries are so good. They have just that little bit of tart tang to them. And the smart sweets that you have, those are so chewy.
Yeah.
I love it. They're really good. I had a taro boba tea my partner brought home for me, but right now I'm just drinking normal tea since I finished that.
We were gonna. We were talking about. Garrett and I are always talking about like because we both like tinned fish, like sardinistas, which is a thing. And there's this whole subculture of people who like buy, like antique, still sealed canned food off of eBay and stuff, and then just film themselves like opening it up and like trying it if it seems safe and stuff like that. I don't know if I would go that far, but we were talking about that shark that they serve in Iceland, I think.
The fermented
yeah.
shark.
Yeah. It's
I'm not going to
fermented,
try to pronounce it.
and the shark itself has like some sort of bile that naturally occurs in its skin that like has to leach out in the process or something. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure Erica has tried that.
Oh, really?
I'll
I
have
wanna
to ask
try
her.
it.
She's not home. She's not home right now. She's in Utah skiing, but I'm pretty sure that when they went to Iceland, she tried that.
She's in the chat. She might.
Is
tell
she in the
us.
chat, or is because there's another Erica
That
that
might,
spells
that
the same
might be
way.
the other the I don't know. I'm not trying to other the other Erica here, but
Oh yeah, no, I think you're right.
Not the one that lives with me. Yeah.
No.
It's rare that people spell Erica the same way than Erica spells it. So it's interesting that you both have a K instead of one of you having a C.
The fermented shark apparently is Iceland's national dish.
there you go.
My partner knew that it was a snack report and just brought me black licorice. It is.
Mm.
I know some people hate it, but I am not one of those people. This is honestly some of the best black licorice I've had. Like, it's just, it has this weird, like, it's very herbal. It tastes like the licorice plant the way it's supposed to, and has like a almost creamy, sweet aftertaste to it. And the texture is really good for those that like it.
Yeah.
I like the salmiak kind, like the actual Scandinavian like
I like
salty
the
licorice.
salted licorice too.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah,
good.
have you been to Polsbo? And there's like a store that just has all this licorice, and they have a licorice palace that they built out of licorice.
Oh, I had no idea.
Oh, you gotta go, and you can get all different kinds. I've never seen that kind though. That looks good.
That looks really good. Yeah, I like the sweet or the salty. Like, love the licorice.
Yeah, pro licorice here.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, it's really good. I do like the salted kind. Apparently, this comes in both, but vile.
Yes. Vile. Well, I actually like lutefisk.
Oh yeah, you can get that there too in Polsbo.
Yeah, you could get it. They have it at the Thriftway here in West Seattle sometimes.
Yeah.
And when it's made properly and served properly, it's really good. If you were to eat it just by itself, I don't know, but like with like a lot of butter and like some mustard and potatoes and stuff, it's really, really nice.
I feel that way about pickled herring. Like,
Yeah,
I grew up eating it and I love it, but some people are like, "Oh, you do? You want one now?"
yeah. What disgusting thing would you like to try, Emily?
None of that. Although we do go through Polsbo every year when we go through to the Fort Gamble ghost thing. I think we went through Polsbo. I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are like next to each other, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we did discover that there is like a lot of that sort of brand of food out there. I am very
It's like almost like a little Scandinavian town, you know, like
Yeah.
the main the downtown. It's like
They have like Viking stuff and
right.
yeah. Next year we can go to the ghost conference and then I'll go try the weirdest stuff that we can find in Polsbo.
Yeah.
yes,
Weird
that's
snack
awesome.
report.
Yeah.
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 So we have a couple of things on the agenda, right? Or are we going to do a donation? Did we settle on a donation link this?
Oh, I forgot to set that. I can set that up while you guys are talking.
We can do it later. We can flash it up. But yeah, we'll definitely put something up. And then also, I think the last show we were talking about maybe coming up with new ways to like kind of incentivize donations, like matching or something, or like send us, a screenshot that you donated and we'll give you something, or I don't know. But I don't want people to feel. Garrett, you're muted.
Sorry. We should talk about that. That sounds great.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want people to feel like pressured to donate financially because that's not a good option for plenty of people. But we could also think of ways where if you can't, then sites where you can call people or, donate in other ways.
Or even just like boosting the word, like, if you can't donate sharing, maybe that can be one of the badges that you can earn things towards, like for Liminal Scouts is like the badge of
community support
spirit.
Yeah.
Always thinking this one. That's a great idea.
This is why I have to jot things down at 3 a.m. when I can't sleep.
Yeah.
Oh, I just noticed CJ's note here. Strange lights and drones.
What does semi-transparent mean?
I think does that equal translucent, right? Transparent is all the way see-through. Translucent is like you could so opaque is like you can't see through it at all, like so you can't see the object behind it. Transparent is like glass. I'm looking for, I have a little like moonstone, but like anything that you can see through with light behind it, especially
like mildly frosted glass they have in bathrooms for windows and stuff.
Yeah.
See, This is why I start to wonder sometimes if my brain is wired differently than other people's, because when I read semi-transparent, what I thought was like one of those things where you'd be like, how would a dog wear pants? And it's like either all 4 legs or like 2 legs. And like, so like some of it was transparent, but like not other bits of it were transparent. Like
Okay,
I
yeah.
used to, Erica was the same way when we were little and we read the bridge ices before road signs. We thought that meant there was just ice before the bridge and not that the bridge like actually frosted first because it's a bridge. It took us till we were, I think, like in our 20s almost to figure that out.
So like semi-transparent would be like Wonder Woman's invisible jet if half of it you could see.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I mean, you know.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense. Just maybe like more cloaked coming out of the water and then becoming less cloaked as it rises.
Or
There's-
as it dried off.
Yeah.
That too. That would be
Maybe
cool.
it's like those toys we got in the 90s that like changed colors when they were wet.
Oh,
Yeah.
The drone sightings in general seem to, I mean, I can't, it seems to me like they're dying down or just not getting talked about enough. Like,
I
they're not
mean,
as much, or is it just people not talking about it as much, or am I just not seeing it as much?
I feel
When-
like the news cycle has been taken up by other things lately, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
When I went to Pennsylvania, I tried to keep an eye out flying into like the New Jersey border and hanging out there. And a lot of it just seemed to be either airplanes or stars. But my partner's brother-in-law, the night or two before we arrived there, had seen like 8 different drones around his neighborhood with unusual flight patterns and lights and activity, hovering and then irregular movement. And it was a bummer to hear about that just a day or two before and then not really see anything. Thought maybe we saw something, but it looked like a star. Checked the flight pattern tracker, and there was no planes above head, but I would rather be on the healthy skeptical side just in case.
Sure.
But it does seem like the news has died down. The few people that I do know in New Jersey who had been seeing things are not seeing as much. But I wonder if the phenomenon maybe is also moving from like one side of the country to the other. Who
That's an
knows?
interesting thought, yeah. I mean, I know you can go onto like, we have a friend who goes on the Reddit, and you can go onto Reddit and find like 1,000 people saying they saw one here and there. But yeah, I don't know.
What if it was like the cicada flap? You know, it's like,
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
they just like, no, they all went away.
Yeah.
Maybe they were like out like breeding and stuff, and then they're gonna go back underground.
That's really weird that you say that, because I've heard somebody compare this drone sighting flap to cicadas directly.
Jeremy's brought this up.
Might have been me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's other people. Yeah, like the kind of cycles of them or whatever.
Yeah.
Like UFO
Yeah.
flaps.
Flaps.
Yeah, I wonder if other people have thought of that. Yeah,
I learned that one of the most common things mistaken, like not mistaken for UFO, but one of the most common things UFO sightings turn out to be are actually like those floating fire lanterns.
Oh yeah.
It's like, you know, they make a lantern that floats off into the sky, like generating its own hot air power.
I've definitely seen one before and going like, what is that? For like a long
same
time,
here.
and then realized, or like I saw people talking about it on Facebook. And I was like, oh, that's what it is.
Yeah.
But I was, of course, pulling my hair out, and yeah.
Would it be
What
unethical? Go ahead, Kai.
What if instead of like cicadas, they're like mayflies? Mayflies only live in their adult form for 24 hours. They don't even have eating mouth parts. They solely emerge to mate, like in that's all they do in their adult form. They spend way more time as a larva and in their like nymph stage. So like, what would be the earlier stages of a drone?
Like a drone pupae.
How would
I
it
feel
go?
like
Like intern or something, or like
every time we start these conversations, the conversation starts out weird, and then you're like, "Have you thought about this horrifying level that you've never heard about before?
I
Did
know.
you know that you could milk a jackalope?"
Oh my goodness.
I mean,
Jack,
this is how my Rolodex brain just keeps us all entertained. I just file
It's
away
perfect.
these random tidbits.
That's really funny. But what would the larval stage of a drone be? I mean, I'm trying to think of something similar. Like, what if it is like a cicada, where it is like a something beetly? I don't know. And then it climbs up a tree and it goes into a cocoon of some kind. Yeah, I don't know.
A dronapillar. CJ, can you draw us a dronapillar?
Dronapillar, yeah. That's got
Or
it.
Not
like-
right now. You can take your time on it, CJ, but like,
It's a gray.
oh right,
Okay.
they're
Oh.
a larva. That's interesting.
Yeah.
The UFO is the adult.
Yeah.
And
The UFO
the gray
and, like,
is the larva.
yeah.
Whoa,
That's
that's really
some-
cool, Alex.
That's some like liminal ecology ninjutsu.
They even look kind of like wrinkly and like
Mhm. Well, there are insectoids. I mean, like, there's a whole category of like humanoid aliens called the insectoids, and they look like praying mantises and stuff.
Right.
I feel like if some of these things were also coming from the ocean, would that just be like the womb of the adult ships, and then the greys would be the larva?
Right.
Then what would that make us if we're being abducted? In theory.
What do butterflies abduct?
Right.
Would we be the nectar?
oh yeah, maybe we are
pollen?
actually like pollen. We're just inadvertently hitching a ride when the UFO is coming down to like fill up their water, because there have been a lot of like reports of UFO or like the inhabitants asking for water. Like maybe the people just accidentally get attached. It's just a kind of secondary feature.
There's the
And
more
here's-
ominous aspect of being like their sustenance as well.
Right.
But here is a hill I will die on, is that this only applies to some of them, because there's got to be more than one like type.
Oh yeah.
There's multiple species, or even like genuses. I don't know.
Yeah.
That I would think. And like maybe some of them are like metal craft of some kind. And some of them are like living creatures, and I think we have this like sort of reductionist desire to say like, oh, all Bigfoots are the same thing. Like there could be a Bigfoot that's a psychic Bigfoot and a giant ape living in a cave somewhere.
Why not both?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, there are gray aliens that maybe abduct humans, and then there are maybe aliens that really like cows over humans. That's okay. I like the ideas that y'all have come up with so far for Liminal Scouts and the things to do, especially with the handbook. And just looking
yeah.
over some of them,
Yeah,
like
let's talk
the
about
the
that.
home protection and stuff.
Oh yeah. Should we step through this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we thought we would try doing some brainstorming on the Liminal Scouts handbook live, so that anybody who's watching or who like watches this on the archives later or anything like that can send their ideas and thoughts to us so we can compile a bunch of them.
Yeah. Do you want to give like a gist of what we're thinking for all this, like the overview? Anyone?
Who?
Anyone want to just explain what we're kind of?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't
so the idea, you know, we've always kind of had this idea to do liminal scouts. Garrett and I have always talked about it because like we took our kids out and kids are super into this, and wouldn't it be fun if instead of the Boy Scouts you could be in the liminal scouts? And one thing, you know, so we've talked to people about, you know, starting this for real, and people are interested in it, but it struck us recently that like one of the coolest things about being in a scouting organization was the handbook, because it had like all the stuff you needed to do, like how to light a fire, how to use a knife, how to do first aid, how to do like just like did you see that little pop-up, Garrett?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. And so we thought, well, this would be the perfect thing. The perfect project for us to work on would be like a liminal scout handbook, done kind of like in the style maybe of like the original old timey Boy Scout manuals, which are terrible, by the way. I went and like started looking at some old ones, and they're like 2 steps over from like why Manifest Destiny is the greatest choice of American Boy Scouts. Like it's yeah. It's bad.
Yeah, I still need to dig my old handbook out of my closet, but I promise to send pictures when I do, just to get an idea for like graphics and aesthetics of it.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, we're a few decades from Manifest Destiny and like the beginning of scouting. Because that does sound awful, and I know Girl Scouts hasn't had like the best foundation from my understanding either, but it's evolved a lot. Liminal Scouts will be different.
That's right.
I bet that we have some cool artists though who we might collaborate with to do some kind of like, I was thinking it would be fun to have some illustrations that are kind of reminiscent of that kind of like 50s Norman Rockwell kind of vibe, like feeling, but with
wholesome
aliens and Sasquatch and fun stuff.
yeah, that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
I want to be sure though that we can like it's always been really important to us that if someone contributes then they get paid essentially. So we would have to not necessarily, you know, I mean what paid means is certainly negotiable, but just to put that out there, like I don't think we would ever ask anybody to just do stuff because we're asking for free. Like give us your time.
Definitely. People who feel motivated to contribute can contribute, and that can be figured out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we started. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, with the art especially, that would be important. That's all I was going to say.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. So I was just going to continue to say that we already started a brainstorming document, but and have some ideas, and we thought we'd like talk about those, and then if anybody else has any ideas, we'll just throw them out for a little bit and see what happens. Does somebody want to read what we have?
Yeah, you guys were looking at like the different tiers or levels of the Scouts. Kind of like the Eagle Scout equivalent, like would be a wizard or a sorcerer, and like cryptids maybe for the others.
Yeah,
like how many levels would we have? They're about 4 on average, right? And then like the 5th one is the graduated level.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think there's usually like a junior, like the Daisies.
Yeah.
And the Cub Scouts, you know, like before you're like
Mugworts, little mugworts.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Like, is it like Weebelows or something, or like Cub? And there's like brownies, right? Too, isn't that
For the Boy Scouts? Like the actual Boy Scout ranks are Scout, Tenderfoot,
Hmm.
Second Class, First Class, Star, Life, and then Eagle.
Oh,
I think for Girl Scouts, it was daisies, brownies, juniors, and then maybe 2 others.
There's cadets.
Cadets, yeah.
Cadets and seniors. I think it's maybe cadets, juniors, seniors.
Yeah. Yep. I remember making it to cadet, and then I was out. Like, no.
I made it. I made it all the way through. I even have some of the like rare like pins that you get for doing church stuff sometimes. I think I have my gold award. I think I have my silver and my gold.
That
And
one,
Mary-
yeah, that was a big one.
Apparently, it's daisies is kindergarten and first grade. Brownies is second and third. Juniors is fourth and fifth. Cadets is 6th through 8th. Seniors is 9 and 10, and then ambassadors is 11 and 12.
ooh.
Ambassadors is a newer situation too. I don't think that.
Yeah,
that
I don't
existed
remember
when it was
that
in
either.
Dulce. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe if we wanted to do cryptids for the middle levels, would it be like investigators for the little first ones? Because you're investigating all of the liminal stuff?
And then
Or
you become what you're investigating.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that could be cool.
Or so maybe the first level is like the people in black.
Yeah. Kids in black.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mulder and Scully's.
That's funny.
It could be like Mulder and Scully at one level, and eventually you get up to like Dale Cooper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
What if there were 2 tracks? There's like a Mulder track and a Scully track.
That's
Like,
Oh,
kind
one
of
of
cool,
them is
actually.
more
Yeah.
skeptical, and one of them is more woo.
Yeah. I like that, especially with like the more experiment oriented stuff and then like the research and
You know
book
what it would be
heavy.
like? It would be like character creation or like a skill upgrade in like a video game. Where like you have like 30 options, and if you go up this path, then you're like more the sciencey like Scully type, and go up this way, and you could have like the electronics path or
Oh yeah.
like the,
But everything evolves into crabs? Why?
Oh gosh, I'll take Skinner. Yeah.
it's true.
Have you heard about that, Kai?
No.
Emily, I already know. You're shaking your head.
Horrifying. It's a nightmare. The nightmare, the crab thing, everything. Was that a creepypasta, or do I just in my head it just
Oh, it's
feels
real.
enough?
Yes, Carson is.
Real? That's not. Don't tell me that, Jeremy.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's called
the lone gunman.
carcinization, the process by which non-crab crustaceans evolve. It's like this idea that things evolve into crabs eventually.
Yeah, if you let evolution take over for long enough, it's all crabs all the way down.
I don't want to be a crab. Maybe I do. Maybe I do want to be a crab. I'm lying right now. That might be ideal.
I don't hate it.
No,
like this.
well, I mean, it's like ultimately, it's what's going to happen, to our descendants, right? So
It's the crab people. At least life will stop coming at you sideways, and you can come at life sideways friendly.
I mean, they look pretty content down there, just hanging out on the steam vents. I could be into it.
I like that. So coming up with like the different levels, right? And then what else?
I like this one. Secret code hidden in the book, and when you decode it, you get a special badge.
Oh no! Now everyone who's here is gonna know to look for the secret code.
Oh,
But it's still secret. You have to figure out what it is and where it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Kai, you mentioned the ufology episode that Steve Berg did recently with the interview
Yes.
about their zine. Did that reminds me a little bit of the zine that they have and just like the ideas that they are putting out as well. I think it'd be fun. I don't know. For some reason I keep getting like this idea to put something that has like scratch off material in it for something to like scratch out when you have found something or collected something or done something.
I just saw how you can make your own DIY scratch off stuff. It involves mixing a little bit of dish soap with something.
I believe you.
That's cool.
There's got to be a way.
I think I saved it on Pinterest.
We gotta try that. That would be really cool.
Still, that's awesome.
Pinterest is a great way to kill time when you can't sleep.
I have time traveled back to, the year 2000 when Pinterest was cool. And no, not the year 2000. I bet Pinterest didn't even exist then. But yeah, I just live on Pinterest. I have a WUFO board. That's my social media of choice lately.
We're all moving to Pinterest. I was thinking about Live Journal today.
Oh, yeah.
I think we should bring
Or
Live
Zenga.
Journal back.
I remember.
Yes.
Zenga. I miss customizable profiles. That's what we need to get back.
MySpace.
Touching grass is going to be it.
I think
Yeah.
grass. We need to. I have this vision of just every Pantone shade of green. Like every profile has a slightly different version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do
Yeah,
like that.
That was what I was imagining. Is you can customize your background, but that's the only thing you can customize. Really, is
Right.
what minor hexadecimal version of green you want to pick. That's it.
It could have what about other little like JavaScript like web toys from back in the day? Like click every dot in the box, or you remember any of those?
No.
I do. And because people could unclick the boxes. So you would get on and you would click the boxes, but other people would be unclicking the boxes while you were I want to be able to put little UFO little sparkles,
Okay.
like the little UFO sparkly things that just sit in the corner and they sparkle for no reason. And we were all like, look at that, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I was like our old website from 2003 when me and Brett Hamill had our little artist group, and I was in the archives looking through that stuff for some reason, and we had this thing called at the bottom of every page it said powered by Tiny Monkey 2.0, and it was this little tiny picture of a monkey and a JavaScript button that said ask the tiny monkey a question, and if you pressed it, it would generate one of 8 random weird surrealist phrases or something.
I like that.
Stuff like that.
Like a weird little digital oracle fortune cookie.
Yeah, and it was 4 lines of JavaScript that we copied from somebody else's source code. I mean,
but I think you guys are wanting to not actually touch grass. You want to customize your page. It's against the very spirit.
Gosh, you're bringing it back down to earth here, Garrett.
There we go. Now we're talking.
Oh.
You
I
don't want
feel
to
like-
sign guest books or whatever.
Yeah. I want to be able to poke you.
Instead of Tom being your mandatory friend, it'll be like Kentucky Bluegrass is your friend.
I think it would be cute. I want everybody to fight over their top 5 grass friends.
Yes.
So another thing to remember too, though, is that like I think we were saying grass products would also be okay. So like bamboo or like bread, right? I mean,
Rice.
Rice, yeah.
Wait, can I ask a question? Can I just a spiritual question of all of you guys, of everybody right now? Because people think I'm weird, and that people already think I'm weird. But like, I think I said this to my dad once, and he looked at me and he went, "No, Emily, I think that's a disorder." Do you ever go outside and you just really want to eat grass? Like I go outside sometimes, and I just really want to eat dirt and like grass. And so like Erica will sometimes buy me wheatgrass that I will just chew on because you smell it, and I just really want to eat it all the time.
When I worked on hot farms, while I was trimming, I would sometimes like eat the leaves off of the plant because it smelled so good. And I just like there's something about like fresh green plant that is great. I don't know. So maybe it's a different kind of grass. I don't know. It didn't like do anything psychoactively for me, but it was the taste and the texture and the smell, the experience. So
Pica is a disorder where you crave things. But
yeah. He was not necessarily wrong when I was like, I just really want to eat dirt sometimes. But like when you smell dirt, you never just want to go outside and like, ooh, I want to eat that dirt. Like,
I need the petrichor inside me.
Oh.
To be fair, though, I am known for trying to get people to eat weird plants when we're out walking around and stuff. So
it's true. I've yet to take a walk with you where you haven't either made me smell something or like told me to taste something that you picked off a tree. So
what can I say?
It's my favorite part, actually.
Good kind of friend to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like one of the things I was thinking about too for the handbook, I don't know if y'all remember like the little spy kits when you were a kid that would come with like the secret decoder or whatever. Part of me was thinking about doing like recipes to make your own invisible ink or something to be able to like.
Oh, that's a good one. Invisible. Yeah.
That's a much more practical recipe than the recipe for pickle juice creamer beverage.
Oh, I'll put this under recipes. It's a good one.
Probably not. I was going to say we could teach people how to make the mushroom ink, but that's a nightmare. Mushroom ink is a nightmare substance.
Yeah, it smells horrible, but I'm going to put it on here anyways.
Gosh. Oh.
That's for the necromancer class, wizards.
And what are the, I forget what they're called, but they're like, they were used in seances. Here I go again with seances. The technology where you have like glass or mirror at an angle and it projects an image up like into the air, almost holographic like. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that's how they do the Disney ride, Haunted Mansion. That's what they do the Haunted Mansion ride. That's how they put the ghosts up into the air.
I think it's fairly easy to do, actually. And you don't need to make it super fancy. I think you just need like a black backdrop, like some object, and a panel of glass from like a picture frame or something, and a light. But then it creates this like floating holographic thing.
I could see like mirrors and illusions just in general, like different things with that.
Yeah.
Bloody Mary. Maybe not. Oh, do you want to talk about that real quick? The thing with your closet.
Oh, sure. If
you don't want
yeah,
to.
I didn't want to have y'all get sidetracked. Kevin and I were dealing with some stuff with kids, and there were high emotions in the house, and the kids were out of the house. It was just he and I. But I noticed, Kevin noticed it first. I didn't see it the first time, but I was like venting and realized the motion sensor lights in our closet came on out of nowhere, and you kind of have to like open the door and like wave your arm for them to come on. And it immediately startled me. And I just started crying, and it's like, what's in the closet? I have history with creepy things in closets, and so my logical brain was not working immediately. But he's like, yeah, that's happened once, just a little bit earlier too. I didn't say anything. I just figured it's because emotions are high in the house right now. What's strange though is almost a year ago, my childhood cat passed away, unfortunately. And every time I would grieve and like cry, the fire alarms in our house would start to go off.
Whoa.
And the fire alarms, of course, at first were like, why is this happening? We took the batteries out. They were hardwired, and they would still be going off, so we had to like remove them from our ceiling. It happened a couple of times. We had our apartments come out and replace them, and it still happened. It was strange too. It happened one time when we had the kids, and usually you can like bump against the wall and they'll wake up, and they're not that heavy of a sleepers, but the fire alarms went off when they were asleep, and they stayed asleep the whole time. One of them has night terrors, and he did like stay asleep but started screaming, and I went in to comfort him, and he went right back to sleep, but neither of them remember the fire alarms going off. It was like one of those weird things where they were just unaffected by whatever was happening at the time.
Whoa.
And it moved from grief to another time when I got angry and the fire alarms went off too. And I was the only one in the house that time. So thankfully the fire alarms have not done it again, but the motion sensor lights are apparently also a motion sensor lights.
Yeah, emotion sensor. Yes.
Yeah. So that's new. Like I still would like to be skeptical about it, but it's a pretty strong coincidence. So I have not affected electronic stuff before. So I don't know.
Yeah, you posted a picture of like the door and just like the light coming from the closet, just from the edge.
Yeah, it was unnerving. Then I tried to like, oh, maybe it was a moth, or maybe it was something shifted in there from my cat trying to climb around earlier or whatever. But I don't know. It was interesting. I hope it doesn't happen again, though. It did startle me. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, CJ posted in the chat Pepper's Ghost.
Yes.
The thing where you can just use like a smartphone to make like optical illusion that looks like a hologram.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. I thank you so much for remembering, CJ. It's really cool. You can make it super fancy and advanced, but even basic stuff is fun. I think it would be cool to like get a badge for that, maybe.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, honestly, psychomantiums are something that I have been playing around with the idea of making.
Can you explain what it is to our viewers? Just
So psychomantium, basically you set up a space, whether it's a room or like even a little blanket for if you want to try and make it fun and less creepy, or a closet if you want it to be extra creepy. And you make it very dark. You remove all sources of light. Some people will use just a small source of red light or light a candle. And you'll have a mirror set up. And usually I've heard some variations of either the mirror is across from you and you can see into it, or the mirror is in a room where you can't see your own reflection. or the source of light, but there is some illumination, and you are able to, in theory, see images or have spirits or the deceased come and visit you. I believe that it was the Greeks that first came up with psychomantiums and would often do this in caves to help with grief and dealing with the dead. I may not be 100% certain on the history of that.
Tyler Perry invented the psychomantium. I saw it on TV.
Speaking of, though, I just noticed it's already 9:30. Should we do our own scrying
Oh,
experiment?
yeah, you want to do that? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was also thinking
Tyler Henry, not Tyler Perry. That's who I meant.
I was going to ask. I was like, that seems strange. But now I want to try and make one the next time that I do a sensory deprivation tank, because I go to float tanks like once or twice a month.
Oh, I've been wanting to try those. I'll have to ask you about that sometime.
Next time you come, I actually have I have like 60 free credits built up, so I can always give you one of my credits because I can transfer them.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Nice.
Fancy.
Well, I'm gonna get this thing set up if you want to talk about it, Garrett,
Yeah.
since you had it originally. And so I'm gonna remove myself and rejoin from my phone.
Yeah, I'll add you. Yeah, so this is
It's
another.
Jeff.
It's actually a different dog.
I know that's not. I was like, that's not Choco.
No, this is Maisie's much bigger than Choco, but she's much needier.
I did cackle at the Medea goes to the psychomantium. It's pretty great.
So Jeremy's gonna pull this thing up that we can all do. Everyone at home can do this too. Basically, I saw this video about someone doing hydromancy, and this is something that you can do at home, and it looked really cool what the person was doing. So basically, he has a bowl full of water, and he's going to agitate it, and he's going to swirl it around, and you can just take your phone. If you do this at home, you can take your phone and just take hundreds of pictures, still pictures, and sometimes like images appear in the water. So right now what you can do is Jeremy's going to agitate the water, and you can take screenshots as it's going. And if you sometimes, like, he's shining a light down into the water as he's twirling it, and it makes weird images sometimes. So I think all of us will, if we all screenshot while it's happening, we'll probably all have a different image. Maybe we'll see something in it. So I'm going to add Jeremy here.
Garrett, am I remembering correctly too that one of the things they recommended is if you can do screenshots on your phone or take pictures with your phone of doing it live, that like those live shots sometimes give you a better
Yeah, because you can kind of scroll through. Yeah, find one in there. Let's see. Yeah, that's what they are saying.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to put all of us out of it and just Jeremy, so it's full screen.
Oh, okay.
I think
Are
that'll
you going
make
to do your own audio, though? Or are you going to stay on audio?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just curious.
Probably not.
Here.
So the idea, of course, just...
Real quick, Sarah, it's Maisie.
Oh,
So you're not
shoot.
wondering. Oh my God.
Oh, you put my other instance back in.
There we go.
There you go.
Spooky.
I'm in two places at once. Ooh.
I'm gonna remove everyone though. Do you want to say something before I do that? So
I was just going to say, so what I'm going to do is, so this is how it works is I'm going to stir this up. And then while it's spinning, I'll just spin it a lot faster than that. You can just take pictures, screenshots, anything. I think, or a video. And it could be like, kind of like those. Have you ever seen those like animated GIFs that are like, screenshot and see what you get? And it'll be like, I'm a Virgo or whatever. It could be like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and actually, if you take screenshots, then we can post them on like Blue Sky, and everyone can see what everyone tag at WUFO,
Yeah.
and we can see what people see. Okay, I'm gonna remove everyone, and
Okay,
just
ready?
do it for a while, Jeremy, so people could get plenty
Okay.
of time to do lots of screenshots.
Yep, sounds good.
Let's see.
Okay, here we go. Should I go again?
I got a ton.
Really?
Yeah.
I was realizing halfway through that it sounded cool, so I unmuted it.
Yeah.
Because
It
I'm using a cast iron pot here.
That's what I was thinking. It was like we could actually make just YouTube videos of this, so people could just just imagine people getting this video.
I feel like that's just the visual version of a spirit box
Yeah,
in its own way, for sure. Like, there's something much more ancient feeling about using water as a divinatory tool too.
So I guess in theory too, you could like ask a question or
right.
should specify some sort of intent. I didn't do that. I didn't do anything other than stir the water. So
There's another part of me too that like wants to add glitter and a little bit of food dye.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Or I was thinking mushroom ink, and I added some UFO water already earlier, so I'll add some more.
Cool.
My UFO water is pre-sparkled because I put the edible glitter in it. So
Nice.
That's cool. Let's see.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I took a video of the video so I can screenshot at random points.
Should I leave it up or do one more time?
Can you do one more time?
Yeah.
I want to film it with my I want to take them with my camera this time.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to pull everyone out again.
Oops.
Okay.
Right.
Everyone get your screenshoters ready.
Jeremy, is there a way you could stir the opposite direction this time? Would that be weird?
Yeah. No, that's fine. I can give it a try.
Should we ask a question this time too?
Yeah.
Like maybe something about the handbook or I don't know. Anyone have any questions? Where's the screaming well?
Yes,
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
That seems like a good question to ask a watery
Right.
medium.
That's true. Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. Wait. Okay. So.
Is that good?
Yeah.
realize how much water was splashing out.
Did anyone get any cool photos?
Some of mine look very puppetish, like there's puppets in them.
Like puffins?
No, I wish they were puffins. Puppets.
Oh, puppets. Okay.
Like I don't. It's probably harder to see, but that looks like a puppet guy to me.
I see a deer.
That's also good.
This is a pareidolia generator.
Yeah.
In a good way. Like we're pro that.
Yeah.
There.
Let's see.
We should have Yuki take a look at them because he went to town on my paintings.
Yeah. Whoa.
All right, are we good with the oracle
Yeah.
for now?
I think so. I gotta have to go through this. So people should post them. Tag at WUFO, hydromancy. Post your pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a cool one, Kai.
It's hard
Yeah.
for me to like show it very well, but it looks kind of astonishingly like a
I'm gonna go back to that.
plesiosaur skeleton that Mary Anning found. So maybe we found the ghost of Nessie in our watermancy.
Is there a way? I guess I have. Oh, there we go.
What's up?
Oh, creepy. Yeah, I gotta step through the live photos and figure out how to get the images out of it.
Yeah.
I look something that looks vaguely crab-like. Those little like crab eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Or like the stalks.
Yeah, the little one. The little ones. Yeah,
They have like little oval shapes.
right. It looked like
Yeah.
that. Which we were talking about carcinization or whatever.
That's right. Yeah.
Fast
Yeah,
track to crabs.
But does anything tell us about
The screaming well. Yeah.
well? And does that crab stuff have anything to do with Shrimpy?
Yeah. That I don't know.
Is Shrimpy a time traveler?
Ooh, why not both?
It'd be interesting to get a map of the Black River, the path of it,
Uh-huh.
and then put that down as an image and then overlay like a screenshot or still image of the water on top to see.
Ooh, if
Yeah.
anyone like line up the lines.
Yeah.
That'd be really easy to do too, just in Photoshop.
This image is really it almost looks like a hole with a head, like a skull, kind of like your Emily, your old skulls that were buried in your backyard.
Oh,
Yeah.
It looks like I don't know if people know. People probably know this, but when you moved into one of your old apartments, you like went outside and there were skulls.
Yeah, the stills outside. That was my TikTok adventure by accident. Yeah, my accidental viral TikTok moment. Yeah, if you're like Brand, if you're new here, when I moved in, we moved into a house a couple of years ago, and I had made the mistake of just being like, let's just sign the lease because I thought we were going to be homeless because I'm anxious. We were not going to be homeless, but I am anxious, and so we just signed the lease. I did not look at the backyard, and then 2 days later, I like looked through the window as I'm moving stuff and I realized that there were like skulls sitting in the backyard. And then I told myself they weren't skulls. And I went home and I went to sleep. And then I took another box back the next day and I looked out back and there were still skulls in the backyard. At which point I made a TikTok that was then seen by like 4 million people because it reached the person who had lived in the house before us, who informed me that she had made them as stepping stones. And then I ended up on Newsweek.
You were in Newsweek? I don't know if I knew that.
Yeah, there's a Newsweek article about it because then
wow.
like later, my mom called me and she was like, "Why are my coworkers in Ohio saying that you're on Newsweek?" Oh, I'm on Newsweek. It was an accident. I didn't mean to. I had to call my therapist and be like, "Guess what? I accidentally went viral and now I'm on Newsweek." And she was like, "That's new for me." And I was like, "Yeah, me too." Like, you're supposed to be the one that knows how to fix this. Anyway, that was my moment. I actually have the mold for those skulls, and I want to do something with them at some point because I have the mold that she used to make those skulls, and I also have the nameplates that I made for them. They all were erased because I named all of the skulls in the backyard, and so I've got all the like old nameplates for them, and I would love to at some point like make some more skulls. I don't know what to do with them, but maybe that's your final adventure. If you do enough badges, I'll send you a skull to put in your backyard.
Right.
I wish my anxiety gave me cool adventures like that.
Yeah, I'm one of those people where my anxiety very often, I mean, it does a lot of people see. It took me so long to actually confront my anxiety, because the question that they ask a lot of people is like, is this anxiety keeping you from doing anything? And no, it's not keeping me from doing anything, because my anxiety gets to a point where I like have to do the thing, otherwise I'll die, right? Like I've jumped off of very tall things because it's like, well, now I'm up here and I feel really awful and I want to die, but if we don't get down, like I don't, so but you got to do it because now you're here, right?
Yeah.
So like my anxiety is that you got to ride this out and say yes sort of anxiety, and it took me a while to understand that like you can do those things without feeling like you're gonna die in the process. So
Yeah. It sounds like a lot of internal practice in making that something that doesn't feel difficult on a daily basis. But at least it doesn't give you paralysis.
that's true. Yeah. It has caused up that my dad said my brain was like spider monkeys once on the phone because I ended up in an emergency room. I ended up in an eye emergency room in London. I was there by myself. I thought there was a contact in my eye because I was just losing my mind because I had on a whim flown to London to see a play, and like I was there for a week, and then I thought I couldn't get these contacts out of my eyes, and I like called my dad crying in the middle of the night, and then I woke up the next day and I like hadn't eaten the whole week because I was so anxious, and I ended up in this eye emergency room, and I like looked up at the clock because I was filling this form out, and then I looked at the form, and then I looked back at the clock, and then I realized there were no contacts in my eyes
because you slowed down enough to see. Yeah. Oh man.
So then I had to go hand the paper back and be like, I'm so sorry, I think I'm just having an anxiety attack. And he was like, yeah. And that's how then I ended up, yeah. That's how I learned that maybe you should like, you can do the yes things, but also maybe you don't have to feel like you've got contacts in your eyes or something in the middle of it. You have to like kind of think about that hard. I'm like overactive, but I also think I'm gonna die like half the time. But it has also given me bear sense. I'm like really good at acutely knowing when something is gonna show up at any moment. Like I have a sixth sense for bears. These are neurodivergent superpowers that I think
Yes. Yes.
don't talk about enough is bear sense.
I mean, also kudos to flying to London on a whim to see a play. That sounds like a very Emily thing to do, and not a lot of people would do that. And that sounds cool.
It's so funny because I very often I'm like, why wouldn't you do that? But these are the things when you say, see, here's my life philosophy at this point, because when you say yes to too many things, you end up at like UFO, like street festivals with Jeremy and his kiddo, and then next thing you know, some woman is telling you about her alien hybrid baby, and then you're on the track. And poor little Nicholas is like, what is an alien hybrid baby? And you're like, that's not a conversation to have with you. I'm gonna pizza.
Yeah, and she really wanted to talk to us about it too. Really wanted to talk to us about it.
She had paintings. I love that lady. She was so cool. She had paintings of her alien hybrid baby.
Yeah, we attract people. Do you, Garrett? Do you want to talk about the Bigfoot?
Oh yeah, I talked to some Bigfoot people for a while. I talked to that woman for like a really long time. She followed like the migration of Bigfoot. Like she talked about how they had migratory patterns, and she knew all the places. She showed me all these pictures that she was taking in the forest and showing me where Bigfoot was in them. Anyways, I talked to her. Yeah. She was cool. She actually said we could go. She has land out in like Mason County, and she said we could go out there and like look for Bigfoot on it. She was really cool. I liked her.
And touch some grass, perhaps.
Yeah.
Yes. But she
Yeah.
gifted me something amazing.
Yeah, I'll show you.
I'll have it. She was really cool, but she was like, because that's what happens is, you know.
She
those photos were
was
amazing.
like very anxious to, I think, you know, like doesn't seem like she always shares that stuff too much with people. But I was just listening to her for a long time. And then she went out to her car and got me this. She carved this Bigfoot gourd. Let's see. That's
Whoa.
Bigfoot. And she put these weird like symbols in it. And it's for like you shake it and it's like a Bigfoot collar.
I like that.
Isn't that awesome?
That's
It's so
amazing.
cool.
This is my
Yeah,
life
it's totally
philosophy
worth it.
point. If
Yeah.
you make yourself the weirdest person in the room in a good way, and you're like, that's one of the benefits. I feel like technically, like I don't know, I'm not like that person who is gonna tell you all the science facts because my brain does not necessarily remember the science facts, but I can absolutely talk too much to anyone for any amount of time. And if you are like friendly enough and you make yourself weird enough, like in an endearing way, it invites people to also like give that weird back to you, and you get the
Mhm.
weirdest shit from people, and it's so incredible. It's my
Yeah.
favorite thing.
Oh my god, I got my haircut yesterday by a new person I had never, and they just started opening up about like all of their paranormal adventures and their family's experiences. Straight up told me that their aunt down in Mexico like had experiences with the duende, like the little gnome goblin creatures that live in caves down there. Didn't tell me what happened, but they knew. It was amazing. I love it when people feel comfortable enough to just delve into that.
Yeah.
It's really
It's really
good.
interesting. We were talking to Jim Perry about maybe one day, like doing tabling in, like traveling and doing tabling to solicit stories for Liminal Earth, but not going to like what?
I think we should do that.
No, we totally should, but not going to places like not going to paranormal conventions, like not.
Yeah,
going
no.
you have to go, but instead go to like the mall
Or like, you know those community yard sales where for like $10 or $30 you can get a table? What if we set up at one of those?
yeah, just to solicit stories from people, because like you'll get cool stuff at paranormal conventions for sure, but you'll get like really out there stuff from people who don't like, who are just on the street.
Yeah, like people in Burien, like a lot of people in Burien.
Right.
Yeah.
I
See,
just
this
kinda-
is why we need our paranormal converted ambulance camper, because that could be our portable recording studio.
Yes.
Right.
Absolutely.
I like this.
I like the
It's-
boat show. Yes.
Yeah.
There
Oh my-
is that picture my friend Rachel sent me of like there's some kind of exhibit at the mall in South Center that has like an
Yeah.
alien communicator or something.
Oh,
There's like
yeah.
a phone booth, and that's at the mall.
We should
That
go
might
check
be-
that out.
I know. We
Yeah.
need- but maybe we could go there, look at that, and like figure out how we can get a table or something, or like a kiosk.
How much
The
would
Girl
it
Scouts
cost
do it. We can too.
for us to start a liminal mall, like, but actually in malls, like all
Yeah.
of the like mostly shut down malls.
Yeah.
Like a kiosk.
Yeah.
Yes.
They are very liminal, the malls.
Right.
Hmm.
I'm trying to CJ drew us pictures and I'm trying to show you, but like my phone does not. It's the drone.
Ooh.
Oh, adult drone.
Oh, yeah, the
The drone pillar.
Bonapilla.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
I love it.
That's so good. Oh,
That is
I like
awesome.
the drone droneless. Adult drone.
Adult drone.
Oh, yeah.
The life cycle of the drone. That could be a page in liminal ecology in the handbook, to be honest.
Right.
And you know, there is this prevailing understanding amongst certain people that mall fountains, like you know how some malls have like those elaborate fountains, those are portals. Those are almost always portals.
Right.
Obviously.
Yes.
People would put money, wish in them, put money in them. They don't. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the whole back rooms thing too. Like it was
Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
like I could see people go into the mall, like a whole culture of people wanting to go to the mall because of the backroom spookiness vibe of it. You know, to like to visit your local liminal kiosk, whatever. I think that would be interesting. There's something there, I think.
Yes.
We could have like a storefront rented out, but it says under construction, but we have like a secret key card to take people back there if they share
Right.
enough stories with us, and then it's a weird backrooms experience.
Right. So
There is, if that phone is it at South Center?
I think so. I think that's what my friend Rachel said.
Because there is also a library in that mall, like an actual King County library, and we
the
may
mall?
actually be able. Yes, in the mall. There's a library in that mall, and we may be able to talk to the library people.
Just ooh.
Meet
Okay.
me at the mall
That's
library
cool.
combo.
Yeah,
Well, and that's actually where the Screaming Well is that same little area.
That's
Yeah.
right. It's really close to that whole area. Yeah.
Is
Okay, we
that
can talk to
is the
library.
mall where the Screaming Well is?
Is the mall fountain the Screaming Well?
Yeah. We asked. That's what we asked.
We
the
solved
hydromancy.
it.
I don't think that, I don't think that mall has a fountain. Is the problem.
Okay,
No.
we need to go investigate.
But there
Um,
is like a pond park, a hidden pond in Tequila. I've driven by like the entrance once, and it's like really hard to find, and it looks like it shouldn't be there.
Is
Maybe
that the
it's
one
there.
next to Target?
Could
Yes,
we
yes.
build a box to put in the mall library that would allow that's a research question that we're soliciting community feedback about where the Screaming Well is.
Ooh.
Like, I wonder if they would let us set something like at the information desk or something for a month or whatever, for local folk research.
Yeah.
I think we should try it. I think we should talk to the library in the mall.
Yeah,
Yeah, there
Sounds
should
like
be more with libraries. That's totally true.
yeah.
I mean, the mall was designed by a German guy as these like community hubs where and they were supposed to be outdoor, but they were supposed to be a place where you could come get your mail and pick up your bread and your vegetables and run into your neighbors and be this kind of like civic center for places. So why can't we make them the spooky civic center?
Perfect. Perfect. Well, we're getting a lot of I'm looking on Blue Sky right now, and there's a lot of people posting. There's a lot of screenshots that people are posting.
Cool.
We'll have to go through those, maybe set some over the map.
Yeah. Yeah. So tag WUFO, put it up there.
Mm-hmm.
We'll find it.
There's a jester type fella. That's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
I see that one. That one's really
From
cool
Spring
looking.
Hill. Yeah. Like it looks like Spring Heel Jack or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen the malls that are doing that with the apartments just right above them. Part of me is like a little scared of that, but I guess it's handy. You have everything you need in theory right down below, except for groceries.
Hey, the food court should not be overestimated.
That's
Sometimes food
Or
court teriyaki
underestimated.
is great.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Also, Emily, your float tank idea,
Yeah.
maybe that would be, I guess it's solitary for the individual, but maybe that would be like a good UFO meetup group activity to go in and
Yeah.
have like a guided meditation or something we all play.
What if we did a sleepover at a swimming pool?
Oh, oh my god.
I gotta say, I
Yeah,
did one
no,
of the tanks once, and I wasn't a fan. So
Oh, you don't.
I
the
was
sensory
just-
deprivation tanks, so you don't like them?
I just it didn't do it for me. It was too like I think I'm too like I can't cut off the parts of me that are still trying to like sense stuff. and then I made this big mistake, which is I wiped my eye with my hand,
Oh,
and it's salt you're floating on, and so my eye was stinging, and I got claustrophobic, and it just wasn't my bag. But I highly condone trying it out.
If
It's really worth
anybody,
it.
if you have any questions, I go like, I usually go like once or twice a month at this point, because it's like one of the only things that allows me, I think, to like fully unplug, because I like can't pick up my phone if I'm like in the water. I do think it takes 1 or 2 goes before you actually start to like settle into how to do it, because otherwise you spend, because the first time I would say you spend the entire first hour being like, am I doing this right? Can I do this wrong? What's going on? Like, how long has it been? Oh my God, what time is it? Oh my God, have I been here forever? Right. But then you actually get like a better sense of like what an hour or so is. And like, once you get into the like routine of it, I'm a huge advocate of it. So if anybody like wants to ever like know more about it, I don't know anything about meditating in them. That's been something that I've been meaning to like try. Usually I'm just like, ooh, it's dark in here. And then that is the only time where I can be like, wow, I like the dark. And then you eventually see that thing where maybe it's just me, but I think that other people have that when you close your eyes and it's dark, you see color.
Yep.
Yeah, I usually see purple. So then I usually just follow that around until the alarm goes off. It's not an alarm, it's like a song they play that's like, you have to get out now, and you're like, oh no.
How long do you stay in there usually?
Usually about an hour. Sometimes if it's really slow, they'll let you. I've done 2 hours tops. Usually you don't stay in for more than 2 hours. Usually my sweet spot is actually like an hour and a half, because that gives you enough time to like ease into it, so that you are like actually like in like the relaxed state for a while, instead of having to like come right back up out of it. But there are definitely, like, I know the studio that I go to has huge float tanks that are technically they're like ADA compliant. They're like huge, so you're not closing yourself into like a little ball, because that tends to freak people out. They've got like ocean rooms where it's just like a big open room basically with the tank at the bottom, so you don't have to be in like a tiny little, you don't have to feel like you're in I like it when I feel like I'm in a coffin, because then it feels much safer to me. I like to be in a little cocoon, because I am very afraid of the dark, like very afraid of the dark. So the smaller the space is, the better the more in control I feel, rather than feeling better in like an open space. But I can understand why people feel better in an open space.
Yeah, it's just you in the tank with yourself.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Emily, you need to make yourself some pins that say, ask me about my float cult.
Yeah. I'm gonna make one.
That's awesome. Well, it is past 10 and I am fading, I think.
Yeah, let's go look at the sky.
Yeah.
It's time for WUFO itself.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's kind of cloudy out here. We'll see what we can do.
Yeah. If not, maybe we can see something in the fog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. The semi-translucent fog.
All right.
All right.
Well,
this
thanks
was fun.
everyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see
Good night,
everyone
everybody.
in 2 weeks, maybe. Probably.
Yeah. And if anybody like to try that experiment, it's so you just get a pot with water and stir it, and then just see what happens. So
And put light on above. Yeah.
Yeah, light above it is definitely good too. But if you get any other cool images, then tag us.
Try it with your UFO water, your WUFO water. Do it with your WUFO water.
Yeah.
Good night, y'all.
Good night.
Happy viewing.
Bye.